Vancouver needs an outlet like Lab Art. And people all over throughout the art community and music community know it. And when they come to this show, they express the fact that they're so happy that Lab Art is happening, because there's very little outlets for people to be able to have this kind of community involvement. So that's the number one thing that people are getting out of it, for sure.
Lab Art Show is a meeting place for creative minds. The reason that we create this show is to connect people who have the background in art and people who just admire art. It's a mix of art connected with short film makers, or like fine art or sculpture, or even people who does DJ or like have a band. You know, like it's connecting all these like different types of art. And so that's why we said, oh, let's create this concept, like create this idea combined together within just one place.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then facing this way.
Yeah. You're welcome. I'm just going to be showing 2 paintings. Originally it was a series of 3, but I chose 2 that work actually well together. In between real and abstract, realistic and abstract, so yeah, it's more leaning towards abstract. I've always been kind of, I always like that kind of thing, so.
We have over 200 submissions, and it was really hard to like select certain artists, or like, because everyone is so talented. Like, that's why I like this job, because every time I open an email, it's like, wow, really? I didn't know that you could do that. So the process of like selecting artists was a little bit hard. So between me and Etel, we print different, all the people's work, and we just select the ones that accord to the show, and the ones that will be good for the audience that we have. I think it's a good idea to do it, to hand out your art and exhibit it in different ways, rather to have a format, because this is the thing. This show doesn't have any format. It's just about to just create new ideas and, you know, like, just be creative.
So I go to Emily Carr, and the project was just volume and repetition, so I had to go out and find any kind of object, make some type of pattern or something that represented something in nature. I took it a lot farther than anybody else in my class, but I spent a lot more time, and a lot more money than I think other people did.
Okay, so.
And that's kind of why I was thinking maybe wrapping them around it.
Okay.
We would not be able to have the show if it weren't for people volunteering their time. So I think that it makes it special that people are putting this much effort and have that much passion to make it work. A lot of different events that are paid, sometimes they don't even care to be there. They just want it for the money side. Whereas this is like, we are so passionate about it. We want it to happen regardless. So it's quite amazing that people that you haven't even seen face to face will come and help you out and just be a part of something that is so important. I think that people are passionate about what they want to be a part of, and there's obviously some type of motive, whether they need to volunteer or whether they want to. Whatever the case may be, it works fine because we all want to be there for one particular reason.
Every artist come and like suggest something, and that we are very open of that. It's an open window. For instance, when I first met Pierre Candy, he said, "Hey, I'm a graphic artist. I create everything by doing it digital. And I'm like, oh, perfect. You show me your art and then we will talk about it. And then he's like, I also would like to have a projector and showcase people what you can do a live drawing on a digital computer. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Actually, that's a great idea. So we're very open like that, and we like artists to suggest new stuff.
Yeah, my name is Peter Gikandi. I'm from Kenya. I'll be honest, I'll paint digitally because I hate cleaning up. I really hate cleaning up. And digital is a lot easier. There's no water, there's no oil. But the great thing about it is that you can totally you can look at it as a medium in its own and not try and replicate a traditional medium, which is one thing that can set it apart. There's things you can do with it that would take you either several months to do traditionally, or you just wouldn't because you shoot yourself. So I love it.
I really love that it's such an open format and involves so many different types of art because it keeps the event fresh.
So I was inspired by, you know how in the SkyTrain you essentially come together and decide to be in a tube together but don't look at each other even though you're completely side by side. And so I wanted to create a space that was somewhat the opposite of that, where people would be somehow forced to connect through eye contact and conversation. So these chairs, I've designed them so that when two people sit, they're completely parallel towards each other. So it's really hard to acknowledge the other person through eye contact. And that would make it even more difficult to just ignore them when it comes to conversation. And then the concept of the infinity is just to talk about the passing of time and how connections, they are ephemeral, and so are the moments in which that we come together and connect truly and deeply, especially in this fast-paced world. It's not so much about the political statement. Of course it's there, but what I really want is just for a space to be created where people can come and just talk and somehow notice that, wow, I haven't really looked anyone in the eye today. And it does make a political statement, but my focus is to create the space. I go to school, so I commute every day, and it's really not an environment that encourages people to talk to each other. Like, if people talk with their friends on the SkyTrain, somehow they just automatically sound stupid because everyone's really quiet. And it's really discouraging in that sense. But on the other hand, like, if you decide to talk to someone else, sometimes they'll think, you know, why is this person talking to me? And I think the idea of community has become ironic in the sense that digitally we can connect to people who we don't even live with or interact with physically, yet while on the SkyTrain we're side to side, right in each other's personal spaces, and yet we can't talk to each other.
We are not charging artists fee for selling their pieces. I heard for so many people that so many galleries or shows ask for percentage, and we don't do that because we just want to create a networking event and then have fun with it.
Some of us were only allowed to show one painting, so I decided to photograph some of my paintings in my own collection and some of the ones that are for sale. So I thought if people wanted to look at my work on the spot, they could just flip through the book here. And I was thinking, yeah, I'd like to do some commission work, so I thought if people saw something in here that they really like, for example, this is a work I did for someone who had the Botanica dinnerware collection. I sort of copied a plate so they could hang a painting on their wall, that kind of a thing. I guess my favorite three themes are flowers and trees and angels. Those are the things that I really love sometimes in combination. I've got this little angel right here with the little wings is floating around on the flowers. Just capturing some beauty in the world, some imagination, some hope, I guess. This is a really special one that I did. My mom was ill with cancer last summer, and I made her kind of a copy of my pink painting, and I put the word hope in there, and I sent it to her because I wanted her to enjoy the different light in the painting and the flowers, and I wanted her to have hope. That was a really special painting. Unfortunately, she passed away, so I'm now back in possession of that work.
My name is Jamil Kiani. I'm a painter primarily. I spent a lot of time graphic designing when I was younger and doing graffiti and whatnot, but I paint now and trying to get better at it all the time. I go to a lot of competitions, live painting, and I test myself against other people who are better than me, and hopefully that expands my skill set over time, and it makes it so I can paint something that people enjoy and makes people happy. I started painting when I was like maybe 14 years old. My mom made me quit drama and go into an art class, and the art teacher said that I had some skill, and he went out of his way to mentor me. He would buy me art supplies so that I could paint, and that was where I sort of decided that I was going to be an artist.
I don't know, I'm almost a bit of an artist by accident, because I started out just like making music. I got into sort of making beats and DJing and things like that. And then just in my younger years, it was like, you know, obviously didn't have any budget whatsoever to hire artwork, didn't really know anyone at the time to do that sort of thing. And I just sort of got into like making album covers and for mixtapes or flyers or all sorts of little things, right? And it was, yeah, I don't know, it just kind of grew from there. And, you know, all of a sudden I'd be out and I'd be out walking around and I'd see this building and be like, oh, like, wow, that looks really cool. And I'd sort of take a picture of that. And that's sort of how it grew. It grew from having a goal in mind, like a project in mind, album cover or whatnot. And then I'd sort of it grew from that, and I started to expand, and I, you know, just would be working on pieces because I was sort of drawn in by something. I'd see a building, like I was saying, and that's generally how a lot of my pieces start off, is I sort of see something, and it kind of triggers something in my head, I guess, and I'm like, oh wow, that looks pretty cool. And then, you know, take it home, start out with photographs, and then it's usually sort of multiple photographs, and I take bits and pieces from each one and sort of blend them together in different ways, and, you know, kind of get different textures and different moods happening than the original photograph. And yeah, it's just fun.
My name is Thibaut Sandra. I do live painting. Tonight I have this plan to make like usually I do, portraits. So I make this portrait here on the left. And I don't know, I take my time, maybe 3 hours. I like to go through the painting to put my details. I use many brushes, many different textures. I use the mistake. I really like taking my time and having I don't know, the pleasure of the long process, which is short as well. 3 hours is kind of short for a painting. I think, you know, every painting is different. It's like a new adventure. You use different colors. It's a new face. It's a new day, a new feeling, a new mood. So everything looks different. But mostly I'm very dynamic, and I use my energy, my positivity through my paintings, and I don't know, I take like 3 or 4 hours to make a piece. But what I do is taking paint in the frame, in the stretch canvas, to take out an energy from someone through my vision, through my move, through my mood of the day, through the paint, my intuition. I found this color, I got excited by that, it's gonna fit with another one on the paint already. Okay, I take this one. I just go ahead, no choice, no. I don't have to re-question everything. The painting is gonna come by excitement, right? It's like that. Because when I work, I move as well. So it's like I feel some stroke goes there. So I just, okay, I feel it, and I make another stroke to make a movement and feeling the energy. There is like visually people use there is a general structure of composition in an image, right? Your eyes follow something, but I don't know, I experiment, I get mistakes, I just follow mistakes, and by the end it become just unique piece and from the moment, so it's like something I didn't expect, I couldn't plan, it just came out tonight or at this moment.
So every time I was talking with different guests that I didn't even know, they said, I thought it was just going to be like an open gallery. I thought it was going to be just like appreciating some art, but then all of a sudden I have performance and I'm music and I'm dancing and having such a good time.
It's a great, amazing platform actually for so many different artists of like different styles to come together and just have like an awesome night, right? And it's like, I mean, you got photographers, painters, live painters, people doing installations on the floor. There's bands later, there's DJs, fashion show, dancers, and it's just like, it's so cool. People with films, like short films, animations playing, and it's like, it's very rare that there's an event like that where so many people from different areas get to come together for just one thing.
Music on the show and then contemporary dance and stuff like that is because we wanted to show people what is possible within one night, so people get more like, oh, I thought it was just going to be a gallery, and then you surprise them. And then through the night we also decide to put a fashion show, so people get to see another stuff, and then we decide to put a band so people can dance as well, because we wanted to celebrate art.